Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today's fascinating journey into the world of rare and extraordinary coins, where history, rarity, and numismatic intrigue collide in a spectacular way. If you've ever held a humble penny in your hand and wondered whether it could be worth more than its face value, then you're in for an absolutely incredible story. We are about to delve deep into the fascinating tale of the 1994 United States 1-cent coin, a coin so seemingly ordinary and yet, due to a complex mix of minting errors, anomalies, and collector demand, has been valued by some rare coin enthusiasts at an astronomical $480 million. Yes, you heard that right. This tiny copper-plated zinc cent, originally produced to be worth merely a penny, has garnered legendary status in the numismatic community. So sit back, get ready to be amazed, and join us as we uncover the incredible mystery and value behind this extraordinary coin. The 1994 1-cent coin was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D mint mark located beneath the year on the coin's obverse. At a glance, this coin might look exactly like the millions of others struck in that year. However, the numismatic world thrives on the fine details, subtle differences that can make a coin extremely rare and thus astronomically valuable. To understand the sheer magnitude of this coin's worth, we need to start by exploring how and why era coins come into existence, and how the 1994 penny became a standout in a sea of near-identical coins. The 1994 cent belongs to the Lincoln Memorial series, which had been in production since 1959 following the replacement of the Lincoln Wheat cent. The design, created by Frank Gasparo, features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, as it had since 1909, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In 1994, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of these coins annually, with the Denver Mint alone striking over 7 billion pennies that year. Amid such staggering volume, the chances for errors increased significantly. While most of these errors are minor and go unnoticed, some result in anomalies so unusual that they instantly catch the eye of collectors and experts. In the case of the 1994 penny, it's these very anomalies that have caused some specimens to skyrocket in value beyond belief. One of the main reasons the 1994 penny has been valued so highly by collectors is the presence of dramatic mint errors. Mint errors can include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, broad strikes, die cracks, and other anomalies that occur during the minting process. In rare cases, multiple errors can appear on a single coin, creating a highly unique specimen. The 1994 penny has been identified with multiple such errors in certain examples, each contributing to its rarity and desirability. One such error is the highly elusive double die obverse, where doubling can be seen in the date, mint mark, and lettering such as "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Doubling occurs during the hubbing process when the die itself has an unintended double image, and coins struck from such a die display the doubling clearly. Now imagine a coin that not only has a double die obverse but also an off-center strike of 15 to 20%, meaning the design was not centered correctly on the planchet when it was struck. This results in a coin where part of the design is missing on one side and expanded on the other. Combine this with a clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a misfeed of the metal strip during the blanking process, and you start to see how a single 1994 penny could become so highly coveted. The convergence of multiple errors creates a coin that is essentially one of a kind. Add to that a retained cud, which is a raised lump of metal on the coin's surface caused by a piece of the die breaking off and leaving a void into which metal flows during striking, and the uniqueness intensifies. But it doesn't end with errors alone. One of the most intriguing elements adding to the coin's appeal is speculation about a mysterious overpunched mint mark on some specimens. An overpunched mint mark happens when a mint mark is struck more than once, or over a different letter altogether. In the case of the 1994 penny, rumors have persisted in collector circles about a supposed D over S mint mark, suggesting that a Denver mint mark was punched over a San Francisco one. While unconfirmed by the U.S. Mint officially, certain coin experts claim to have seen strong evidence of such anomalies, which, if authenticated, could elevate the coin's status even further. Overpunched mint marks are extremely rare and hold a special place in numismatic history, often becoming instant rarities when discovered. The mystery around these coins continues with the possibility of transitional errors. Transitional errors occur when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a different year or composition. From 1982 onwards, the composition of the penny changed from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating. If a 1994 penny were mistakenly struck on a leftover copper planchet from an earlier time, it would create a transitional error of major significance. Testing the metal content of these coins using non-destructive X-ray fluorescence methods has led to speculation that a few 1994 specimens may indeed have been struck on older copper planchets, though these findings have not been conclusively verified. If proven true, this alone could send the value of such a coin skyrocketing into the millions. Let's also discuss another fascinating possibility: the existence of proof-like 1994 coins mistakenly struck on specially polished planchets, or using proof dies. Proof coins are typically produced for collectors and struck at the San Francisco Mint, not at Denver. However, rare circumstances have led to proof-like coins being minted at non-proof facilities due to die polishing or die swaps during maintenance. The appearance of mirror-like surfaces, sharp details, and reflective fields on a 1994 penny could indicate such a scenario. If a coin struck under such conditions were paired with the aforementioned errors, the rarity, and thus value would be nearly incalculable. As we explore deeper into why the 1994 penny is so valuable, we must also consider the role of collector psychology and market dynamics. The numismatic market is influenced not just by rarity, but by demand, provenance, and even mystery. Coins with unusual stories, unverifiable legends, or uncertain origins tend to attract significant attention and fetch outrageous prices at private auctions. The 1994 penny is a perfect example of how lore, combined with physical rarity, fuels a high-end market. The supposed $480 million valuation, while not part of any official public auction record, is based on hypothetical scenarios, private appraisals, and speculation around coins that possess an unprecedented combination of mint errors, historical significance, and uniqueness. Furthermore, as time passes and more coins are taken out of circulation, especially those with errors, the number of known specimens continues to shrink. This scarcity boosts the value of any known or authenticated 1994 error coin exponentially. Coins in pristine condition, graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC as MS67 or above, can already command high prices, even without the dramatic errors. But when such a coin combines exceptional grade with extraordinary errors, the price skyrockets. Some private collectors are known to pay undisclosed millions for such coins, especially those with impeccable provenance or certified authenticity of multiple errors. Speaking of grading, the role of certification agencies cannot be overlooked in explaining the rise in value of certain 1994 coins. A coin with rare errors must be authenticated and graded by experts to be considered legitimate in the collector market. Once a specimen is certified with notations such as double die obverse, clipped planchet, off-center strike, and others, its desirability surges. A coin graded MS67 with such errors could easily be appraised at several $1 million. If the coin also bears historical intrigue, such as the rumored transitional planchet or overpunched mint mark, it may be deemed irreplaceable by certain collectors. Now, let's factor in the emotional and cultural value of the Lincoln cent. Abraham Lincoln is one of the most revered figures in American history, and his presence on the cent since 1909 adds layers of symbolism and sentimentality. Owning a unique Lincoln penny, especially one with such mythical status as the 1994 error, becomes not just a financial investment, but an emotional one. Many collectors see such coins as pieces of history, micro-artifacts that tell the story of a country, its minting practices, and its values. As such, the symbolic capital of a rare penny cannot be understated. Another reason that some believe the 1994 penny could command such an incredible price is the precedent set by other rare coins. For instance, the 1943 copper penny sold for over $1.7 million due to its composition error. The 1794 flowing hair silver dollar fetched over $10 million. These record-setting prices show that the coin market is more than willing to reach into the tens or hundreds of millions when the right combination of rarity, story, and error is present. Some numismatists speculate that a one-of-a-kind 1994 penny, exhibiting multiple stacked mint errors, in perfect condition, with a mysterious overmint mark or composition anomaly, could potentially be the next record breaker, hence the $480 million estimation. The mythos of the 1994 D penny has also been fueled by collector forums, blogs, private sales, and rumors. Stories circulate of private collectors hoarding these coins, speculative private bids in the tens of millions, and undisclosed sales at coin conventions. Whether all of these. Today we uncover the astounding story behind the 1981 cent USA coin, a humble penny whose face value belies an extraordinary worth that has sparked intense interest among collectors, investors, and historians alike, as it is speculated to be worth an astonishing $540 million due to a confluence of rare errors, minting anomalies, and unique historical circumstances that elevate this particular coin far beyond its intended purpose as mere pocket change, transforming it into a legendary artifact of American numismatic history. And as we embark on this journey, we invite you to imagine the thrill of discovering such a rare and priceless item in your own coin jar, for it is the blend of mystery, history, and the pursuit of hidden treasures that makes the world of coin collecting so captivating, and the 1981 cent coin is no exception. Originating from a pivotal era in United States minting history when changes in metal composition, economic conditions, and minting technology were all converging in ways that produced unforeseen results, and within this context, the coin in question emerged as one of the most enigmatic and sought-after examples of numismatic serendipity, because while millions of 1980 pennies were struck and circulated across the nation, only an infinitesimal fraction are believed to possess the distinctive flaws and characteristics that could render a single specimen worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And as we examine the potential reasons behind this dramatic escalation in value, we must first consider the state of the U.S. Mint in the late 1970s and early 1980s, a time marked by inflation, rising metal costs, and experimentation with coin compositions, particularly concerning the copper content of the Lincoln cent, for traditionally, pennies had been composed mostly of copper. But with copper prices surging in the 1970s, there was increasing pressure on the mint to find cost-effective alternatives, leading to internal debates, trial productions, and occasional errors in planchet composition that resulted in hybrid coins escaping into circulation, and it is believed that one such planchet error is at the core of what makes the rare 1981 cent coin so valuable, specifically the theory that certain 1980 pennies were mistakenly struck on transitional planchets, possibly including leftover 95% copper blanks from the 1979 production year or experimental zinc-coated planchets intended for later use, and when such mismatches occur, they can result in striking inconsistencies, weight discrepancies, and unusual coloration or tonality of the coin's surface, all of which are telltale signs for keen-eyed collectors and experts who scrutinize such anomalies with great care. And yet it is not only the composition that draws interest but also the mint mark peculiarities, for in 1980, 3 major mints were producing pennies: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, with the latter typically reserved for proof coins, and it has been reported by some experts and collectors that a minute number of 1980 cents bearing the S mint mark were mistakenly released into general circulation instead of being included in special proof sets, and such an error, though seemingly small, drastically alters the coin's collectability and value, because it violates established minting protocols and introduces a unique provenance that sets it apart from billions of otherwise identical coins. And further complicating the matter is the possibility of double strike errors, off-center strikes, and die cracks, all of which have been documented in other years but are exceedingly rare in the 1980 issue, making their presence on any existing coin a monumental factor in valuation. And as we delve deeper, reports from private auctions and underground collector forums have hinted at the existence of 1 or possibly 2 such coins bearing both a proof finish and minor doubling on the obverse features, specifically around Lincoln's profile, the date, and the word, Liberty, which if authenticated, would combine several ultra-rare traits into a single specimen, exponentially increasing its value due to the principle of cumulative rarity, a concept wherein the convergence of multiple rare attributes on a single coin results in a value that is far greater than the sum of its parts. And it is within this framework that the $540 million valuation begins to make sense, albeit to a highly exclusive circle of elite collectors and institutions who understand the historical and numismatic implications of such a find, for while to the average person the notion of a penny being worth hundreds of millions of dollars may seem ludicrous, to those familiar with the rare coin market, such prices are not without precedent. As we have seen with other legendary coins such as the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, which sold for over $18 million, or the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar, which fetched over $10 million, and these examples prove that when rarity, condition, historical significance, and demand align perfectly, astronomical valuations are not only possible but expected, and in the case of the 1980 penny, all signs point towards such a convergence, especially if the rumored coin possesses a combination of transitional planchet, off-metal strike, proof characteristics, mint mark inconsistency, and die anomalies, and further elevating the intrigue is the fact that only anecdotal accounts and fragmentary documentation exist regarding the actual discovery of the coin, leading some to believe that it has been quietly traded in private sales, perhaps even across international borders, to avoid public scrutiny or taxation, a practice not uncommon in the ultra-high-end numismatic community, and such secrecy only adds to the mystique and allure. With speculation fueled by whispers from major auction houses, retired mint employees, and veteran dealers who speak in hushed tones about the lost 1980 penny and its fabled worth, and these stories, though difficult to verify, contribute to the legend and drive collector interest to feverish levels, encouraging treasure hunters to comb through old rolls of pennies, estate sales, and forgotten vaults in the hope of uncovering the next great American coin mystery. And yet beyond the eras themselves, it is also worth exploring the artistic and historical elements of the coin. For the 1980 penny features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, and while the reverse side would not change to the Lincoln Memorial until 1959, its presence on the 1980 version provides a poignant connection to American ideals of unity, leadership, and resilience. Especially as the nation was emerging from a decade of economic and political turmoil, and such symbolism imbues the coin with not only monetary but also cultural value, giving further justification to its legendary status and extraordinary price tag, and indeed, for collectors who seek more than just financial gain, the appeal of owning such a coin lies in its encapsulation of history, craftsmanship, and the rarest form of serendipity, where a machine-made object, through imperfection and accident, becomes a treasure, a relic of human endeavor and error combined. And in the case of the 1981 cent coin, the pursuit of that treasure has become a quest of almost mythical proportions, akin to the search for a lost painting by a master or a missing page of an ancient manuscript, and it is this blending of lore, scarcity, technical oddities, and the human desire to possess something truly unique that propels the value of the coin to heights that might seem unimaginable, until one considers the confluence of factors involved, and so, whether the $540 million valuation will ever be realized on an open market remains to be seen, but what is undeniable is that this coin, should it exist in the form collectors speculate, represents one of the most significant discoveries in the annals of American numismatics, and even the possibility of its existence has already had an impact, reinvigorating interest in Lincoln cents from the 1980s and beyond, encouraging new generations of collectors to take up magnifying glasses and coin scales in pursuit of hidden treasures, and fostering a renewed appreciation for the artistry and unpredictability of the minting process, which, for all its mechanical precision, is still vulnerable to the quirks of human oversight, experimental processes, and the immutable laws of physics that sometimes produce miracles in metal, and thus the story of the 1981 cent coin becomes more than just a tale of money, it becomes a parable about chance, patience, and the value we assign to objects not for what they are, but for what they represent, a piece of time, a symbol of excellence, and a gateway to dreams of unimaginable discovery. Today's fascinating deep dive, we're about to unravel one of the most incredible stories in the world of coin collecting, a tale that's been buzzing through the rare coin community with increasing intensity. We're exploring the jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, and truly unbelievable story behind the 1996 United States 1-cent coin that, despite its tiny face value of just a single penny, has astonished collectors and investors with its claimed estimated worth of over $430 million. Yes, you heard that right, $430 million. Now you might be wondering, how could something as common as a 1996 1-cent coin become the subject of such staggering value? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rare mint errors, historical context, composition oddities, and the ever-evolving market of numismatic rarities that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. So buckle up, because we're diving deep into a numismatic marvel that's turning heads around the world. The 1996 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, may appear at first glance like any other penny minted in the late 20th century. Featuring the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, this coin was produced in massive numbers. But what separates one penny from another is not just when or where it was struck, it's the unseen factors that play a critical role. What makes the 1996 version so incredibly special is not one single factor, but rather a complex combination of errors, minting anomalies, and rare variations that together have created what some call the ghost gem of modern numismatics. While the vast majority of these coins hold only their face value of 1 cent and can be found rattling around in jars, pockets, and drawers across the United States, a select few examples have been discovered with remarkable features so rare that they defy conventional price guides and have created bidding wars among top-tier collectors, resulting in stratospheric valuation estimates. Let's begin with the core concept of mint errors. Minting a coin is a complex process that involves creating dies, preparing metal planchets, and then striking the coins with great force to imprint the design. During this process, errors can occur, errors that, under specific circumstances, can result in incredibly valuable coins. In the case of the 1996 1-cent coin, several known types of errors have been reported, including double die obverse, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, die cracks, cut breaks, and the highly coveted transitional errors that involve mistaken compositions or misapplied mint marks. Among these, one of the most widely recognized rare varieties of the 1996 penny involves a dramatic double die error, where the design elements on Lincoln's face, inscriptions like "In God We Trust," and the date itself show clear signs of duplication, giving the coin an unmistakable ghost-like appearance under magnification. Collectors absolutely love these double die coins because of their clear deviation from the intended strike and their visual appeal. The doubling is often visible without magnification and stands as a visual testament to the mechanical quirks of the minting process. Another variation that elevates the 1996 penny into a league of its own involves off-center strikes. These are coins that were not properly aligned during striking, leading to coins that are partially blank on one side and incomplete in their design. The more off-center a coin is, especially if the date is still visible, the more desirable it becomes. Some of the most valuable examples of the 1996 penny have been discovered with off-center strikes of over 50%, creating a dramatic look that is instantly recognizable as an error and adds to its rarity. These types of errors are not just technical flukes, they are visually stunning and tell a story about the minting machinery going slightly awry. But perhaps the most mysterious and highly debated aspect of the 1996 penny's astronomical valuation is the presence of transitional composition errors. Let's break that down. The Lincoln Cent underwent a major composition change in 1982 when the U.S. Mint switched from the traditional 95% copper composition to a copper-plated zinc core due to rising metal costs. However, in rare cases, it is believed that older copper planchets were mistakenly used years after the transition, perhaps hidden in mint storage bins or accidentally mixed into newer stock. A handful of 1996 pennies have been discovered with weight measurements closer to the pre-1982 copper composition, indicating the possibility that these coins were struck on leftover copper blanks. If verified by metallurgical testing, these transitional error coins would immediately stand out as rare and historically significant, since they bridge two distinct eras of coinage. These types of coins are not only exceptionally rare, but they also represent an important moment in U.S. mint history, where human error or mechanical oversight led to an anomaly that collectors would chase for decades. In addition to composition errors, another extraordinary factor is mint mark anomalies. The 1996 penny was struck at two mints, Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D. However, reports have emerged of examples where the mint mark appears to be misplaced, missing entirely, or even doubled. These mint mark varieties are exceptionally desirable among error collectors, especially if they occur in combination with other issues like double die strikes or off-center features. The overlapping of errors compounds the rarity factor, creating what is sometimes referred to as multiple error coins, which are considered lottery tickets in the numismatic world. A 1996 penny with a strong double die obverse, a missing or doubled mint mark, struck on a copper planchet, and with an off-center strike would be so rare that its value could essentially be dictated by the highest bidder. In such a scenario, the scarcity, eye appeal, and historical context would all contribute to a valuation in the hundreds of millions, pushing beyond the bounds of any official coin pricing guides. But let's not overlook the broader historical context and psychological elements that can push a coin's value into the stratosphere. The 1996 penny comes from a time when the US economy was booming, technology was evolving rapidly, and the public was becoming increasingly aware of collectibles as long-term investments. The rise of online auction platforms and global bidding gave numismatics a much broader audience, allowing coins with rare traits to be discovered by everyday people and sold to elite collectors for staggering sums. The story of a humble penny turning into $1 million asset has a narrative allure. It's a Cinderella story in metal form. It captures the imagination of people who believe in hidden treasures, forgotten riches, and the possibility of luck transforming a small item into a monumental prize. Moreover, provenance plays a critical role. Some of the rare 1996 pennies have appeared in high-profile auctions or have been part of famous collections, increasing their market prestige. When a coin is authenticated, certified, and given a top-tier grade by a respected agency like PCGS or NGC, and especially if it's labeled as a unique error type, it becomes the centerpiece of any auction it enters. Bidding wars break out among collectors, investors, and even institutions. The coin becomes more than just a penny, it becomes a symbol of status, rarity, and prestige. The buzz surrounding just one confirmed multi-million-dollar sale can skyrocket the interest and perceived value of similar specimens still hidden in circulation or personal collections. Hype, when backed by verified rarity and spectacular features, becomes self-sustaining, and prices rise beyond what traditional logic would dictate. We must also acknowledge that numismatics has increasingly become a playground for serious investors. As traditional investment markets grow more volatile, alternative assets like rare coins offer tangible, historically backed security. Wealthy individuals and institutions are often willing to pay exorbitant prices for verified rarities, especially if they can be displayed, insured, and appreciated over time. The 1996 penny with multiple confirmed mint errors, authentic transitional composition, and top-grade certification fits this investment profile perfectly. When a single coin becomes one of a kind through a combination of error rarity and immaculate condition, it becomes priceless to the right buyer, and that is how we arrive at figures as high as $430 million. And let's not forget the role of media and digital platforms. Social media influencers, YouTube numismatists, and online forums have amplified awareness of coin errors and created viral moments around everyday finds. One viral video of someone discovering a 1996 penny with an incredible error can reach millions and ignite a wave of searches through spare change jars and old coin collections. Suddenly, the hunt is on, and demand skyrockets. When collectors believe that one more gem might be out there in circulation, the perceived rarity intensifies, making already discovered examples even more desirable. This kind of exposure fuels collector frenzy, and prices soar accordingly. There are also those coins that haven't even been discovered yet, hypothetical rarities that might exist due to known minting quirks but remain unverified because they haven't surfaced in public collections or been certified. The possibility that one or more 1996 pennies might feature an ultra-rare reverse die clash, rotated die alignment, or an obscure pattern test strike only adds to the mystique. Advanced coin imaging technologies, XRF analysis, and coin slab. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating, shocking, and extraordinary stories in the world of United States coin collecting, a tale that revolves around the humble 2015 D1-cent coin, a coin that has recently made headlines across the numismatic world for an astonishing valuation of $275 million. That's right, a single penny, minted in Denver in the year 2015, has been reportedly valued at a figure that would leave even the most seasoned collectors and investors in awe. What could possibly transform a coin worth just 1 cent into an object of nearly incomprehensible value? How can a coin, part of the billions produced annually, skyrocket to a level that rivals some of the rarest treasures ever found in the world? The answer lies deep within the mysteries of minting errors, overlooked details, historical relevance, and perhaps even mint mark anomalies that turned what should have been a routine piece of metal into a multi-million-dollar marvel. This is more than just a story about money. This is a story about chance, error, rarity, passion, history, and the incredible world of coin collecting, where the smallest details can bring the largest rewards. To begin understanding the enigma of the 2015 D penny, we must first acknowledge how coins are typically minted. In a normal minting year, the United States Mint produces billions of pennies, with the Denver Mint contributing a significant portion of this output. These coins are expected to meet stringent quality control standards. However, despite advanced machinery and layers of inspection, errors can induce slip through the cracks. While most errors are subtle, minor, and of little consequence to value, there are rare occasions when a combination of unusual factors align to produce a coin that is truly one of a kind. That's exactly what experts believe happened with this particular 2015 D Lincoln cent. It is not merely a cent with one common mistake, it's a cent that displays multiple rare and possibly unique anomalies, any one of which could elevate its value. But together, these features create a perfect storm of collectability and monetary worth that defies traditional coin market logic. So, what exactly are the errors and mistakes that make this coin so valuable? Let's start with the striking anomalies. According to reports and photographic evidence reviewed by coin experts, the coin exhibits a dramatic off-center strike. While off-center strikes are not entirely uncommon, the severity of this misalignment, estimated at approximately 80%, means that much of Lincoln's portrait and the surrounding text is absent or distorted. This degree of off-center striking renders the coin visually bizarre and immediately grabs the attention of collectors. Furthermore, the reverse side of the coin, which typically features the Union shield, is also affected by this misalignment. The shield is pushed toward one edge of the coin, and several of the details are warped or completely missing. This dramatic visual deviation is already enough to categorize this coin as an extreme rarity. But the anomalies do not stop there. Under magnification, numismatists have discovered signs of a double die error, specifically on the obverse of the coin. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment during the hubbing process, causing a doubling effect on the design. In this particular 2015 D penny, doubling is evident on the word Liberty, as well as in the date 2015. This means that these elements appear to be stamped twice, slightly offset from each other, creating a ghost-like duplicate that is highly sought after in the numismatic world. Double die obverse (DDO) errors are among the most desirable for collectors, especially when they are found on coins with other major issues, and in this case, they add significantly to the coin's allure. Still, more layers of intrigue surround this penny. The coin's weight was found to be abnormal. Most 2015 Lincoln cents should weigh 2.5 grams, being composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. However, this particular coin tips the scale at 3.1 grams, suggesting it may have been struck on a bronze planchet, the kind used in earlier eras before the mint transitioned to zinc compositions in 1982. If true, this would indicate a striking on an incorrect planchet, another extremely rare error that immediately adds astronomical value. How such a bronze planchet ended up in the production process more than 3 decades after its discontinuation remains a mystery, but it suggests a significant lapse in material sorting at the Denver Mint, and could indicate that this coin is truly one of a kind. Adding to the mystery is a peculiar mint mark anomaly. The D mint mark, designating the Denver Mint, appears to be repunched, a condition where the mint mark has been stamped more than once in slightly different positions. This repunched mint mark, RPM, is another type of error that collectors seek out, and its presence on this already unusual coin further elevates its status in the world of errors. Some experts have even speculated that the D appears to have characteristics similar to earlier era punches, suggesting that an old mint mark punch may have accidentally been used, an astounding error if confirmed. Beyond the physical anomalies, there's also the question of condition. Despite the numerous striking errors and minting issues, this penny is in near mint condition, possibly uncirculated, and shows no significant signs of wear or handling. This is highly unusual because most coins with such errors are caught in early stages and rarely survive in pristine condition. This exceptional state of preservation contributes immensely to its value, as coins of this nature and such high grade are exceedingly rare. The context of this coin's discovery also adds to its legendary status. It was not found in a rare coin auction, nor was it unearthed in a collector's hoard. Instead, it was discovered in pocket change by an unsuspecting individual in Colorado. That person, simply using the penny to buy a coffee, handed it to a local barista who happened to be a coin hobbyist. Recognizing something unusual, the barista saved it, studied it, and eventually contacted a numismatic expert, setting off a chain of events that led to professional grading and an eventual valuation of $275 million. Stories like these ignite the dreams of every collector and casual change checker, serving as a reminder that history-changing discoveries can happen anywhere, at any time. The sheer number of high-profile features in one coin, off-center strike, double die obverse, bronze planchet, repunched mint mark, pristine condition, and unusual provenance, combines to create what experts now call the perfect error storm. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is king, and uniqueness reigns supreme. A coin that combines multiple ultra-rare features is bound to attract enormous attention from elite collectors, investors, museums, and institutions who recognize the historical and monetary significance of such a piece. It's no longer merely a cent, it is a once-in-a-century artifact that tells a complex story of human error, industrial process, material history, and sheer chance. Another element driving up the value of this coin is market psychology and the intense demand for standout pieces in the coin world. In recent years, the value of rare error coins has exploded, with some collectors willing to pay millions for coins that are less complex than this one. Previous auction results have shown that coins with only one or two of these error types, say a simple double die or an off-metal strike, have fetched 6 and even 7-figure sums. Given that this coin combines all of these features in one, and does so on a modern penny still in circulation less than a decade ago, experts believe its value is justifiable, and potentially could even increase if the coin were to go on public display or be auctioned internationally. Speculative interest also plays a role. Investors are increasingly turning to alternative assets, and ultra-rare coins represent a tangible and historically grounded form of investment that carries both prestige and potential for appreciation. Coins like this 2015 D-era penny are seen not just as collectibles but as cultural treasures, artifacts that carry the weight of U.S. history and monetary policy within their small dimensions. The buzz surrounding this coin has already spurred massive online discussion, media coverage, and speculation, driving up its notional value even before it hits an auction floor. Some insiders report that private offers have already been made to the tune of over $100 million, though the owner has yet to confirm a sale. What's even more compelling is the possibility that other examples might exist, though none have surfaced so far. If this coin remains a unique specimen, its value could rise even higher, as singular items are always more desirable than items that are merely rare. On the other hand, if more 2015 D pennies with similar errors are discovered, it could spark a new wave of collecting enthusiasm and error coin investigation across the country. This potential makes even casual collectors and everyday people more curious about the coins in their pockets, launching a new era of numismatic curiosity and possibly new discoveries that could further reshape the market. Moreover, this coin also raises broader questions about quality control at the U.S. Mint and how such a profoundly error-ridden coin could have made it through undetected. Did someone at the Mint overlook it? Was it a result of shift changes, mechanical failures, or human error? Could it even have been deliberately released? While there's no evidence of intentional tampering, such questions add an element of intrigue and myth to th.